Welcome back, U.S. History researchers. This is the second part of the Module 1 videos. There are 4 videos in this module. In this video, we will discuss the topic selection process in greater detail. As before, you will answer several review questions at the end of this video. Let us begin by considering 2 questions that will help you to get started with the topic selection process. First, what interests you? You should think about your natural interests and how they line up with American history. Avoid topics that you've already studied in great depth and topics that might not work well in an academic context. So for example, you may not write about the history of Thai food, but you may write about Americans in 1920s Paris or Russo-American relations 1905 to 1919. Second, what are some questions you have about these interests? Good research is propelled by good sets of questions. As one historian put it, every argument worth making begins with a question. And good questions come in all shapes and sizes. Prioritize why and how questions over who, when, and where questions. Pause the video now and spend time reflecting on your interests and the questions you have about them. Also, be sure to think about whether these interests would motivate you over the course of several months. If you have completed this step and generated several strong ideas, you are well on your way to having a workable topic. If you do not yet have that many viable options, survey your textbook for possible topics by scanning the table of contents, pictures, the index, or timeline. You can also speak with your teacher or a librarian and discuss potential topics. Finally, you might also think of historical controversies or problems that research could help to clarify. Before moving on, you should have 3 potential topics in mind. Before you declare a topic to be the one, you will need to check for what historians and librarians call viability. On occasion, a fascinating topic that provokes excellent questions is not appropriate for the scope of this project. To avoid problems down the road, know that, at the outset, your potential topics must 1. Relate to American history. This should be an easy question to answer. Remember, it is a U.S. history research paper. 2. Be worthy of investigating and even debatable. 3. Have a large number of secondary sources written by professional historians. And 4. Have a large number of those secondary sources available to you at the Catherine Brush Library or via interlibrary loan, which will be outlined in Module 3. Be sure to measure your 3 topics' viability against these standards. Now that you have learned more about the topic selection process, you are ready to move on to the 3rd video in which you will learn about secondary sources and Pelicat, the library catalog. Finally, remember to answer the review questions that will come up in a few seconds.